I am recording this because someone said that they couldn't come on and they wanted, if we're talking about Peru and stuff, they wanted to be. So hope you don't mind.
Nope.
Um, Hi, Jeremy. Wait, you're muted. Well, at least one of you is muted. There's two of you.
I just muted myself after we finished talking.
Um, all right, so
That
oh,
uh,
all right. Now, Jeremy, we keep losing you.
hello, hello.
Hi, can you hear us?
Oh, so you might have heard me. Can you hear me, or I don't know?
Now I can hear you, but we
Oh,
don't see you anymore.
yeah. I've got part of Zoom on a computer and the other part of it on my cell phone because there's no
Got
camera
it.
on the computer, so it's kind
Got
of
it.
hokey. So
Oh,
it may
well,
be
that's
kind of lame,
okay.
but I just thought I'd listen to see
That sounds good.
about Peru.
Yes, actually, my background picture is Peru. I was wondering, I keep changing it all the time what I have in the back, and I'm not really I'm like, yeah, that's Peru back there.
Yes, it looks like
So
be there.
we'll No, this isn't a great picture because it really is beautiful. Mark, have you been to Peru yet or no?
No, I have not. I haven't been anywhere in South America. I've been North America and Central America, but and I told you I loved Vietnam, like loved Vietnam, Da Nang, and then I
Hmm.
really liked Albania, but I don't want to go back because I'm thinking, well, what other Albanias are out there, So I want to continue exploring and slow traveling, and so I've pretty much dedicated the winter to South
Oh,
America.
that's awesome. Well, be sure and ask me about some other South American places, but I personally I love Peru. Um,
So,
I keep going back there. Yeah, Jeremy?
I imagine it's probably a brutal plane ride, isn't it? I mean, it's a long haul on the trying to get there is
Peru? No, it actually isn't bad.
not too
I
bad.
don't know. You know what? I you can't ask me because I go to Africa and wherever and
Oh, right.
Bhutan. So
Yeah, so
to me,
for you, it's a big deal.
Peru, Peru's nothing.
Yeah, it's in the same hemisphere.
Yeah, exactly. So and we have Alyssa. Hi,
Hi there.
Alyssa.
Hi, how are you?
All right. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So you have the group flying into Cusco and then from there traveling to Machu Picchu area?
So we actually are doing the beginning part of the trip is starts from Lima. So
Uh,
November 9th through the 13th, we're starting in Lima and then going south to um, more like desert ocean. Um, and doing the Naztec lines and the there's an island that they call the Galapagos of Peru, and that's also where their famous drink, the pisco, is made. So there's like, we'll go through into the area of pisco and do tastings and do dune buggies and on the sand dunes. And then on the 13th, and that part I separated for people who may not be able to get away for as long. I separated it into, if someone, we have a few people who are only doing the Cusco Sacred Valley time, and that's from November 13th to November 21st. Um, and then on the 21st, coming, people will fly back to Lima. So I am having, so people are, what people did is they bought their round trip Lima tickets and then I bought them their Cusco tickets, and then they paid me back, but then I kept everyone on the same flight to go. Although I have two people who are going to who are staying in Peru and maybe continuing on to the Amazon. So
So Robin, just to confirm, so you said you got everyone on the same flight from Cusco back to Lima as part of like a round trip, Lima to Lima, you know,
right.
leaving
I
from
mean,
Lima.
one person did her own because so I don't know. Have you been starting to look into the tickets for that?
No, that's why I'm
Okay.
asking these questions.
Okay. So it depends on what airline you're using. Um, is that because I think it's American. I'm using United because that's where all my miles are, but don't take what I'm doing. Um, um, American, I think you can actually put in, where are you coming from?
Either New York or Florida. I'm not sure
Okay.
yet.
So you put it, yeah, you'll probably want to go from Florida, it's easier. But you can put in your, let's say Florida to Cusco, and well, actually, if you're doing the first part in Lima, you would do Lima, and then you could do Cusco, and then coming back, um, people like were able to get a flight from Cusco to their hometown, and that flight will include a stop to Lima. So, so it depends, again, it depends on what airline, but I can help you go through it. It's a little confusing. The other thing that's a little confusing, I actually had a Zoom call just on the flights because often the Lima flights leave at like 12:06 a.m. and which is really like the next day. So some people were, even though we're leaving on November 21st, some people were booking their flight, on the 21st, but it left at 12:06 a.m. So that really meant the day prior. So I've been kind of working with everyone as they're buying their tickets for Peru, so that I make sure I can help you so you don't kind of make that you get the right flight at the right time is what I wanted to say.
Oh, oh, yeah. I don't have the itinerary in front of me, but
Mhm.
just would you mind? So the dates. So you'd fly from your city in DC to
Yeah,
Lima
so
on, and then you'd
as I
fly to
said,
Peru.
so the
What's that?
pre-trip is November 9th through 13th. And so you arrive into Lima on the 9th, and then we do the next day, we do a little bit of, Lima touring in the morning, and then we head out south toward like more toward the desert area where we have and I don't remember which days we are doing what. I just kind of remember the activities that we're doing. So we're doing um, the Balasit Islands, which is the Galapagos of Peru. We're going to be on a boat and do that. We're going to take a helicopter slash plane over the famous Naztec lines, which are um, huge graphics carved into the mountains that you can only see really from above, of what, like they were symbols and signs. And when you're there, they'll tell you more, deeper about that. Um, then we have, then we're also doing like a dune buggy ride on the sand dunes, which I sent a few clients last year. I actually haven't done that one yet, but I sent a few clients last year, and I had them do it. They said that was like their most fun part um, about this whole part. So I'm excited to do that. And then the area where it's also the area where they have the distilleries for their pisco, which is the like kind of the I'll say the national liquor. And so we'll go around and do some tastings at like 3 different distilleries and stuff like that. So that, and then we'll go back to Lima, spend the night in Lima, and then in the morning on the 13th, take a flight to Cusco. So far I have 3 people. Three? Yeah. So far, I have 3 people who are not doing the Lima part and just doing the Cusco part. So they're going to, they actually got their tickets already. Their flight is like 45 minutes before our flight. So they're, gonna meet, we're all gonna probably, meet in the Lima airport. They're gonna get to Cusco about 45 minutes earlier than us, than the other people that I bought the tickets for. And then we'll all meet in Cusco in that morning. And then start the um, the traveling in the Sacred Valley part. I will say that um, I finally learned after doing this trip a couple of times that I'm going to get you out of Cusco at the beginning because Cusco is, and Mark, I don't know if you're going to join us or do it on your own, but Cusco is very high altitude. I think it's 11 something. So people really react to the altitude right away, and it's not good. So I mean, some people are fine, and I have a whole packet of information for you, which will talk about altitude sickness and, taking the Diamox, which um, I recommend, but everyone has their own way of dealing. The uh, what we're so when we're going to go straight from the airport to Ollantaytambo, which is a couple thousand feet lower in elevation, so we don't have that very first day of being very high, and actually Machu Picchu is, I think, and I'm sorry, I don't have this right in front of me, but I think Machu Picchu is only like 8,000. So it's not as high as when you first land in Cusco. So we'll be going lower, but not at the very highest part. And then when we finish Machu Picchu, we'll come around like on the other side, and then like end up in Cusco. But then we are on the 20th, we're going to what they call Rainbow Mountain, which is the mountain that you've seen in pictures with all the different coloring. It also is very high, but by that time we would have acclimated. It's a, it's a couple hour, there's nothing else around there other than that mountain. So we're not staying around there. So it's a couple hour drive there and back, but it's a little bit of a challenging, not so challenging hike, but we can,
Okay.
everyone can, yeah.
Could I interrupt you for a second? Just um, about just the flights. So if I understand it correctly, like the trip that we pay you for, you do the flights to get us from Lima to Cusco
No,
and
I
back
don't.
to Lima.
I
Is that
don't
right? Did we on
include.
our own buy our round trip flight to Lima, or how's that
No,
work? Because it's like we have to leave the U.S., buy a ticket to Lima, and then we buy our own ticket from Lima to
yeah.
Cusco, or
So that's what I
how's that
was
work?
telling.
What
Yeah, that's what I was telling Alyssa. I will help you. I don't. I The flights are on your own, and the
what
reason the all the flights are on your own. But some
all the
people said, Robin, will you tell us how much it costs? Will you buy the ticket from Lima to Cusco so I make sure that I'm doing the right one? So that is what I would be doing if you wanted me to, or you can do it. Um, but I will definitely, because I know it can get confusing. And like I said, I had a whole Zoom call prior for people who had signed up earlier to talk about the flights because it can get confusing. So I am, I will work with everyone individually to help them with their flights going and coming. And then
sorry,
you
but
pay for it, but I'll help you.
right. But just to get like narrow it down just
Mhm.
specifically to the date, like we'd want to get to
You
Lima
want
on
you
November
want to be
13th,
in Lima on the 9th.
oh, Lima on the
Um,
9th.
yeah, I will tell you, I originally, thought people would, when I was looking, and I had been looking at the flights a year earlier, the flights were coming in a little later, but it ends up that everyone so far who have gotten their flights are all coming in pretty early morning on the 9th. You don't have to, but if everyone does end up coming in early on the 9th, oh wait, one person is coming in later, that's right. But if everyone comes in early, um, we'll just figure out some activity to do or whatever on the 9th. So I'm going to say, and again, most of these flights are overnight, like they're more like a red eye type thing. So people are leaving like late night on Saturday night and getting in very early in the morning. You may find a flight that I think one person did that is leaving pretty early in the morning from, and again, it depends on where you're coming from, leaving fairly early morning on the 9th and then getting to Lima on the 9th as well. So,
Okay, so 9th, we have to get to Lima. And then on the 13th, we should buy a ticket from Lima to a round trip ticket from Lima to Cusco and back
right.
to November
So
13th
that's the
to go, and then
13th.
November
Yeah. So
19th.
that ticket would be the 13th to the 21st. That round
Oh,
trip for
13th, 21st. So
to,
buy a round
to
trip ticket from Lima to Cusco and back to
Lima
Lima
to Cusco and
on the
Cusco to
21st.
Lima. And then Lima, I
Okay.
would say to get a
And
late
that
night
the morning.
flight.
Oh, I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
were out
so
to.
Lima, so on the 21st,
That's the
either late, so some people have a late night flight leaving on the 21st from Lima home at uh like some people are leaving at 11 p.m. There are some people that are leaving like 12:06 a.m. on the 22nd.
oh
Um,
just so that I have this straight. So on the 21st, that's the one that's at 12:06 in the morning coming back, or am I getting this mixed up?
yeah,
Like at
12:06.
12:06
I'll
is on the
go over it with you.
21st,
I'll go over it with you separately when you're coming from DC, right?
right? Right.
Yeah. So I can help you figure that out separately. We
I just
don't have to
make sure.
spend all this time on that, but yeah, you would do Cusco to Lima in the afternoon of the 21st, and then your Lima round trip ticket um back to the States would happen. You make it like later, late in the
Oh, on the
evening
20.
on the 21st or early morning on the 22nd. Mine is early
Oh, the
morning
20.
on the 22nd. I think mine
Oh,
is like 1 a.m. on the 22nd.
all right. So everything ends in the middle of the night on the 20. The trip officially ends in the middle of the night on the 21st to 22nd,
Right.
midnight. I
Well,
guess that's when every.
the trip officially ends in the afternoon of the 21st. And that's when people
Okay,
will start taking a Cusco to Lima flight back.
Cusco to Lima. Yeah, and then we could do our own thing after that
Right.
from Lima. We could leave the 22nd or
Yeah.
stay in Lima on, or we'll do
Right.
whatever. Okay. All right. I just want
Yeah.
to make sure I had that part straight. But
I
yeah,
will
thanks so much.
tell, yeah, no problem. I will tell you that they are, if you're going to join with the Machu Picchu part, there are limited permits left. I, in fact, I just had two new people sign on, and we couldn't get on the circuits to go through Machu Picchu. One goes kind of one way. Well, there's a lot of different circuits, but there's one circuit two is the most, it's what everyone kind of sees when they see Machu Picchu. And there's one that goes one way and one that goes the other. one way is completely filled up. So 5 or 6 of us have those tickets. And then the newer people are going on the other way around. It's the same time. It's the same thing. It's just how they are dividing people up. But those are going to run out soon too. So if you are serious about joining us for this trip, I would say not to hesitate too much longer. So,
Oh, okay. And that circuit, that date where you go from Cusco to Machu Picchu, those circuits that's on like well, I have to look at the itinerary. That I guess that's like sometime November
yeah,
14th,
it's like the
15th or something.
15th or 16th or something like that, right?
Okay, the one that's they're running out, and
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be terrible to go all the way there and not be able to go to Machu Picchu. So
All right.
you
Well,
have to.
I would let
I
you
mean, how
know before, but I'm just letting people
before you?
know here that they are running out, so not to
So
hesitate.
before we contemplated buying an airline ticket on our own to any of these places, we'd have to ask if there's still a ticket left
Yeah,
on that
so
second
I would, yeah,
circuit.
so before you buy your ticket,
There is.
contact me and I will find that out before you go any further. But you'll need
But
to
right now,
work fast, is what I'm saying.
oh really? Okay. So but right now on that one, there's still some
There's
slots, I guess.
some. I can't say how much longer it's going to last. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I thought there was still some for the first circuit. I mean, the one that goes one way, and they filled it up. So,
That's like the tour to get up to the ruin and everything else, I guess.
right. So I'm
When you
going
say,
to,
Right.
yeah. Yes, Alyssa?
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Thank
No,
you.
I was actually going to, see if anyone else had questions. I see that Bruce and Sharon are on. I know Mark, I'm not sure if you're just kind of listening to Peru or if you want to join us or whatever, but I wanted to see if what Sharon and Bruce, I think Bruce, you've been to Peru before, right? Oh, you're muted. Unmute. Now we don't
Me.
see him. All right, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a terrific trip. I think everybody going will have a great time. Yeah.
Yes.
I went with my
So
family.
awesome.
So, yeah. So, yeah, Cusco is definitely worth spending time in, and Lima's okay. It's only
Yeah,
worth a few days. But
right.
yeah, should be a good time. Great time.
And I know you're and then Sharon?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, honestly, I've continued to get your emails for like years already, and I just for different reasons haven't been able to join any of your trips. I've traveled to other places, different ways. Um, so I actually initially a while ago was interested in your Peru trip, and then I don't know. Anyway, and then I saw that you had the Iceland trip that just opened up. And when I saw that, I contacted my boss, and we're having a lot of short-staffed issues now. And
Hmm.
she basically nixed that. So at this point, it's a good possibility that I can't go anywhere because I had to put in my vacation time like December. And so I'm really not sure like any of this, what's going on. And I just thought that I saw your Q&A and I thought, let me just join and see what it's
Yeah.
about, hear from you and, get information. And maybe if these don't work out, the possibilities are for something else.
All right, awesome. Well, I will say you are not alone. I had a guy go on my Africa trip last year who had been on my mailing list probably from almost the beginning, like 20 some years. Never heard a peep from him. And all of a sudden, I get like a registration for Africa. So, like it happens.
Right.
Like people
So
are,
I will tell you that Africa has definitely been on my bucket list for many years, and I see your trips all the time, and they look amazing. And like I said, for different reasons, I have not been able to do any of your trips. Um,
Life
but
happens.
if yeah, exactly. I'm not so sure about what's going to be for October, November at this point. Your trips really sound wonderful. But it's a good possibility that in the spring or even the summer, if you do another Africa trip or there's other ones that I might be able to do that, like planning in advance. So,
Well, we
yeah,
already do have Africa on the calendar for August 2026. So
oh,
if you want
okay.
to look at that and really plan in advance,
Is it a similar Africa trip that you've done before? Like, is it?
yeah, the
Yeah,
Tanzania and Rwanda, which I just think is magical. I have a family. I do custom trips as well, and I have a family there right now, and I told them to send me pictures. And even though I've done like the things that they're experiencing now, I feel like such a, so excited for them to be experiencing it. To me, it is magical,
yeah. I mean,
there.
it's
So.
been on my bucket list. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like sway off of the trips that you're
It's
talking.
okay. It's okay. I
Okay.
mean, it's supposed
You,
to, I mean,
you mind if I?
I want
And
this to be like open. I know, like, I said Iceland and Peru because those are the two trips that are coming up.
Right.
But
could I interrupt for a second?
yes,
I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. So just so I have this straight, so the price on the website of this trip, that's that's not that no airfares are included, right? So we'd
correct.
have that website plus we'd have to buy our plane tickets to from
Right,
DC, or I would from DC to Lima and then Lima to Cusco and back. So it'd be
right,
so it's everything else but the
right.
airfare, I guess.
The
Okay.
Cusco Lima usually is like, again, it depends on what airline you're using because some of them you can get to do, at least on the way back, do like Cusco to DC. So I'll help you with that because we'll see what you can do. But um, you know, the round trip, like my round trip, I think was like $70 each way for the Cusco to Lima. So that's that's
Okay, so you have $80 away from Chicago to no, I mean from Lima to Cusco, but
Lima to
then
Cusco.
you
Yeah,
from Chicago, Peru, I guess.
yeah.
So
So
that was another $1,000, I guess. And
yeah,
then
I use my
7,000
miles, so but in
each.
and American, I think yeah, I know American has, well, at least Alyssa, if you're coming from Florida, I think that American has some nice flights that are pretty reasonable.
What
Um,
airline are you using from Lima to Cusco?
from Lima to Cusco, I'm using Latham, Latham.
And what time? Because it seems that you've got a whole group already going to Lima and then going traveling together to Cusco. So it might be helpful to know that.
Yeah, so like I said, I have them booked on a 9:45 or 10:40. Wait.
No, I think you
Oh,
mean the 13th.
right. I know.
Lima to
It's either 9:45 or 10:45. I'll have to look that up and send it to you.
Thank you. Just so that
Do
because that
you
seems to be a constant, that you're
right.
traveling.
Can you in the chat if you'll send me your email so I know I have it?
Sure, sure. I'll contact you, Robin.
Okay.
And you mentioned that the group would be splitting just by virtue of there being not enough permits,
Hmm.
to go all together in one way. And then are there local guides? Because
Yeah.
you'll be on one way and there are local guides.
Right. Yeah. There'll be a guide with each group.
And is there an opportunity to acclimate to the elevation? I
Yeah.
guess Lima would be that opportunity, or staying in Cusco too.
No, so that's what I was saying. Lima, first of all, is not high, so I think it's actually sea level. Um, when you arrive in Cusco, that is very high, and so I am not. I don't know if you heard what I said, but I learned after a number of trips of taking people that we leave Cusco right away, and go to a lower elevation. It's still high, So that first day is still, will be lower than Cusco, but yes, we do, keep it, a more slower pace the first day and to acclimate. What happens is that we're actually going to continue to go down a little because Machu Picchu actually is in a valley, so it's lower. So you're gonna kind of go, you'll go up and down in elevation between that 9,000, no, like between 8 and 10,000. Machu Picchu is going to be lower. It's more like 8,000. And then, so now you should be acclimated. Now we start heading back to Cusco, which is 11 something thousand. So you will be acclimated when you're going to be at your highest point. You'll be more acclimated. We are not doing the hike up, the Inca Trail. We're just doing the last, we're hiking on the last trail before Machu Picchu, which is not like if you hear people who have done the Inca Trail and they talk about 14,000 feet, et cetera, that is to climb up over the pass and then down into Machu Picchu. We're going to meet that down period, like that down place. So it's not going to be, anything close to 14,000 um, when you're when you're at Machu Picchu. So then we'll be heading back toward Cusco, which is now 11,000, and the Rainbow Mountain is 11, 12,000 when you get to the top. But by those days, you should have acclimated a little bit. I will send all of you who've signed up some information, like information about altitude, getting the pills. There's also some, like holistic remedies for altitude. But if you're not allergic to sulfa, I would recommend taking Diamox. So,
Thank you. Thanks.
and yeah, so I mean, we are in terms of that, split on that day. That's only, one day that we split into two because of the permits. I know because I had someone ask and they got all concerned that, the whole trip was going to be split. It's only that one day. Um, and, we'll be able to do all the other activities and whatever together. But I'm glad that you guys are on this call that I can be sure and tell you to sign up if you are going to do that trip soon for that reason, for the permit reason.
Oh, so I guess so the whole thing with airfare and everything. So how much money should we budget for this? How much does it all cost? What would the bottom line might be?
In addition to that, I mean, most of your meals are covered. Um, there's tips, which I usually, tell people like 15, between the different, whatever, like 15 to $20 a day for like tips for a person. And then if there may be, I think in Lima we have like a lunch or something like that's not included, but um I think if when we look through the itinerary, if you see a meal that's not included, to figure generally, I mean, it's a little less than what we have in the US, but I usually tell people to plan like the cost, particularly if people, want to get like alcohol with their meals or anything like that. I mean, there's tons of, you know, cheaper little places to grab something for lunch and things like that. But if you're if you were planning lunch, or whatever for the meals that aren't included. I'm trying to look on my website to
Oh,
see
well,
which
that's,
one.
I don't, I'm not, that's all right.
Yeah. So,
Just, the trip is about $7,000 and the airfare might be an extra 1,500. So the whole thing might set us back like $8,500 or $9,000. Is that a ballpark figure for what the whole thing might cost
yeah, so if
generally?
you are just going to Sacred Valley, the single occupancy is 71, and the double occupancy is 66, and then the airfare. I think that I would say, yeah, like probably about a $1,200, for the Cusco Lima airfare round trip.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
So, do any of you have any questions in general or about the other trips? Mark, where else are you going? You're going to in South America.
Well, I think I kind of misunderstood this Zoom. I saw it advertised on Facebook, and I thought this was just a general information, about going to Peru in general, and then Machu Picchu specifically. That was about. But no, I'm a solo slow traveler. I mean, I'm going to Lima for 2 months to live there,
Awesome.
and get an apartment and hang out and do day trips and weekend trips and stuff like that. And I had some. I've had friends that gone to Machu Picchu, and I know a lot of the drill. But um, uh,
I'm
anyway,
happy to answer any questions or help you with your, separately, I can, help you with your trip or whatever if you have any questions. I am fortunate that I have been working with the same people in Peru since 2000, so 25 years. Um, I love them there. They care about people, and more than that, they are very connected into, like, because I like to do trips that have a little bit more of, like, interaction with locals and not feeling like we're just tourists. I mean, that's probably what you want to experience when you're doing your kind of slow travel, is to be part of it. And so the people that I work with, even though we're there for a short time, try and help me with those experiences. So I'd be
I guess
happy
the
to.
one specific question I would have
Mhm.
is, having done some research on this. So on average, people plan two separate routes around Machu Picchu, because
When you say two separate routes, so
so 2 days there, right? Because you can only do one route a day, correct?
yes, no, you could do two, depending on the timing. Most people only do one day in
Really?
Machu Picchu. Yeah.
All right.
Um, I I will tell you, things have changed a lot because of I haven't been there. Um, it's since COVID. So what they changed then is, because it was getting very crowded, is they were really limiting, the footprint of coming to Machu Picchu. And by doing that, they said that you had to go through like one route or whatever. You can do 2 days and do a different one. Most people will do one. Um, the way we're doing it is we're hiking up to like the sun gate of Machu Picchu, where you can see the entrance to it, and we can kind of get an overview of Machu Picchu on the hiking day, and then we're coming back to our hotel, and then in the morning going back to Machu Picchu to actually get the tour of the rooms. But if you were going to be there for you know, if you longer time, then I would say do the 2 days and get a different route or different perspective. The classic route is the route two that I was talking about. But there are other, there is like a tower. One of them has like a tower that you can climb up to the top of and stuff like that. So I would say yes. If sounds like you have time. Stay in Aguas Caliente, which is the city right at the bottom, and it's a cute little town. And then do 2 days and get a different part. But most people only do one.
Okay.
And
So
Very
make
yeah,
nice.
sure that
and
you get your permits early.
right, exactly. And I had heard the same thing that you're talking about, that, over visiting had become a problem. So it become very regimented, and
Hmm.
in terms of, and then I guess the other specific question I have is, I've also seen on various videos and blogs and stuff, you actually have to bring your passport to Machu Picchu to get in, even though you're not like leaving the country.
Right. They check, I mean, they check to see if you are the person on the permit.
Right. Okay.
And do you
So,
get the permit, Robin, once someone
yeah,
signs up? Do you get the permit? Okay.
yeah,
And then I'm looking Aspen. It seems that Cusco is double the altitude of Aspen, pretty much.
right.
Oh, okay.
Double of
Wow, that's
Aspen?
really cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, Aspen, yeah, it didn't seem right to me, but I was just wondering because I'm worried about the altitude. And then you mentioned that medicine, and also I know that you can like drink the coca leaves or chew or something like that,
Right.
which is typical.
I mean, Aspen has to be like
It's
eight
70, it's
or
like 7,900. So it's about 8,000 feet.
yeah, that's Aspen.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
So,
Cusco's 11, isn't Cusco's
yeah.
like
Oh,
11.5 or something?
sorry, it's about 3,500 difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
thought
and
Aspen was high.
have you been to Aspen?
Yes, that's
And
how I
how
know.
are you there?
It takes me a day to acclimate.
Okay.
Drinking water and
All
ice.
right.
I've never taken anything else though for it.
Okay. So, because the first day we're going to go kind of down a little bit to about Aspen. I mean, maybe a little higher than Aspen, but we're not, like I said, we're not staying in Cusco that first day. So you have a little chance. I mean, even though it's still high, you'll have a little chance to acclimate or whatever.
Oh, so how high is Machu Picchu? That's like 13 or
Actually,
14,000?
Machu Picchu is not. It's in the valley.
Oh,
The
it is.
reason, yeah,
Oh,
so it's more like 8,000, I think. Um,
oh,
but
sorry.
the
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're hiking, if you're hiking to Machu Picchu, which we're only doing that last piece, but if you're hiking to Machu Picchu, you're going to go up over a pass that's about 14,000 and then come down, and Machu Picchu is about 8. So Cusco, the city that you fly into, is higher than most of where we're going to be on the trip. So
Have you
that's why I'm taking people out.
have you ever had a situation with some of the people going on your trips over the years, in this case, who've not been able to like acclimate in time to the altitude?
I've had people who have not felt great,
But
not to a debilitating point.
okay. All right. Meaning they can all
Um,
make it to Machu Picchu.
right, right. They, probably like if you've been to Aspen, I mean, drinking water
Yeah.
is like key. I mean, the thing, I've had people who get really bad headaches, because they don't pay as much attention, um, to that, and they don't drink as much. Uh, when the first time I went to Ecuador, which was in 1993, I um, I was staying with people and I woke up in the morning and they put a glass of water and an Excedrin next to me, and they said, take that. And I never really realized, what that, now I know that, aspirin thins your blood, and that makes it easier in altitude. And then the Excedrin has a little bit of caffeine that also kind of helps kind of pick you up. So up until they came up with Diamox, because I didn't discover that until, a number of years after that. My go-to for altitude was water and Excedrin. So if you don't have, if you don't have the Diamox or whatever, it's fine. I like it because it works, you take it almost like as a preventive. So you I think you start 2 days before you are in high altitude. So you're already, by the time you come uh, to the high altitude, the elevation, you're I think it probably does the same thing that an aspirin does, is thin your blood for the oxygen. And we also have our guides there also have that little machine that tests, your oxygen level and whatever, just to make sure that, if people are feeling a little funky or something, we can test that or whatever. So they're all, like I said, this company that I've been working with, the guides who are with them are as have been around for, as long as I've been working with them, and, this is what they do and know how to take care of people. They are used to people, not feeling well because of altitude and everything. So,
How many people have
um,
signed up so far?
so far I have 8.
Thank you.
You said
Um,
you need to know we have like 1 more week or 2 more weeks before those groups will fill up. Is that
I
is
have
that
no
about
idea when
right?
they'll fill up. So I
Yeah.
am saying that if you are interested in going on the trip to, you know, move quickly. The one thing we could do um, is if you're thinking but you still don't know, we can, I think that the permit is like $125 or something like that. I'll have to double check. But if you wanted to, you know, we can buy the permit so you have it. And if you decide not to go, your only loss would be the cost of that permit instead of paying for the trip and
Oh,
then you decide not to go. I
oh,
could do
oh. So
that.
the smart thing to do is buy the permit first and then deal with the airlines later, I guess, or right afterwards. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to go, yeah, if you wanted to go, I would say if you knew that you wanted to go, but if you thought that maybe the airline would become too expensive and then you decide you don't want to go, your only loss then would
Would be the
be the 120 for
$125.
the permit. So I would
Okay.
do that for people who are still hesitating, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
want you to wait and then finally decide you want to go and then we don't have the
And no
permit.
permit. Yeah, no permit. All right. Well,
Right.
listen, thanks so much. I have to leave right now, but I appreciate
Okay.
it. Thanks very
No
much.
problem. Nice to see you again.
Bye.
Bye. So, mm, Mark, did I answer your questions or are there still?
You no, you did, and
Okay.
I'm sorry if I misunderstood a little bit about what the call was about.
You know what?
Um,
It's always different depending on who comes on.
okay,
So I do this the last Tuesday of every month, and sometimes it becomes people's questions, it becomes trip specific, and sometimes it's a general. I mean, I had one that was a conversation all about stepping out and the target market and stuff like that, and then others people have talked. We've talked about travel tips not even related to a destination. So it
Okay.
kind of depends on what people want. So it seemed like a lot of people on this call, have more specific for Peru, and I did want to make sure that I could answer some of your questions too.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much. And I'm gonna buzz off as well. And
Okay,
thanks very much. And I'll probably join some of your calls in the future.
sounds good. And yeah, let me know if I'd like to, know where else you've been. And I do want to talk to you about Albania. So,
Okay. All right. Just
all
reach
right.
out. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Robin, I have a
And
question. So I need to
yes.
actually get going, but
Hmm.
I mean, right now everything for me is right up in the air. But I continue to get your emails. But if I have specific questions, even in the future about something that's coming up, is it possible to contact you directly and then speak with you directly?
Absolutely. I mean, all those emails that come out, I mean,
Right.
if you reply to them, they come to me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
happy to talk. And whether it's Africa or whatever happens,
Right.
I know the reason why I said, the Africa is the other thing is that we are offering for people, like to do if they sign up, I mean, you don't know what your way in advance is yet, but if they sign up soon, we are offering a 13-month installment plan so that you're not paying it all at once, but you'll go from like now to September or September to October to pay for the August the August trip for the Africa. So that's something
So
to think about too.
can I ask you also, is there,
Mhm.
because I've noticed that your Africa trip seems to always go around August. Is that true? Is there a specific reason that you choose August?
Yeah. I have done it other times, and other times are very cool, and they each have their different moments. Um, but the wildebeest migration is at its height
Ah,
in August.
right. Okay.
I've taken people over, like in January, December, January, which is another cool time because that's when a lot of the animals give birth. So you see a lot of babies. So I've done October, and like every time is different, but a lot of people, you know, they
Mhm.
want that National Geographic picture, of which I gotta tell you, I took a picture of the wildebeest migration, and I am not a good picture taker, and it really did look like a National
Wow.
Geographic photo.
Okay. Sounds amazing. I mean, honestly, that's high on my bucket list. I don't know. Maybe next year can work out. I can't even think that far right now. I have
Right,
too much
right.
going on right now. Um, but I thank you for your time. And actually, Alyssa's a friend of mine. I saw her name up there.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
So bye,
that's funny.
Alyssa.
Bye,
Um,
Sharon. Have a good night.
I'll talk to you. All
Take
right.
care.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Robin. It was
bye.
nice meeting you.
You too.
And hopefully we'll be in touch at, some other time.
Yeah,
I look
absolutely.
forward to
That'll
all
be
your
great.
emails though, and your trips sound amazing.
Well, I think that they are. I mean, and I love the people that go on them too.
Yeah,
It's
like
just,
I know a bunch of people that go on a lot of your ski trips and they always
oh,
say
okay.
great things about that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
All
thank you
right.
so
Well,
much
hopefully
again.
I will see you in person.
Okay, thanks so much.
Bye, Sharon.
Sure.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
Alyssa.
Um,
Yes. Alyssa, do you have any other?
yeah, no, I will. I'll even show
Go
video.
for it.
Yeah, hello. Um, I was going to ask, oh yeah, about Iceland. What I love is that you're not like I can't plan it that I'm going to be available October 2026. So I love that you're doing it like in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Which is
Hmm.
more possible to have a sense of my schedule. So, for Iceland, is there availability? Is there room still for Iceland, or is that
There,
because
I
it's
have
like
to, I think so. Yes.
okay. You think
So.
there's availability or you think it's sold out?
No, I think that there is availability. I have to double check with the hotels.
Okay.
So
And looking at the itinerary, is there a pre or post trip with Iceland?
there is not. I'm looking
Okay.
at my, it looks, there's not for that one. I just, I'm sure you saw that I was just there and, and everyone's been asking me about adding Greenland on. So I don't think I will do that this year, but I think next year I might do Greenland with Iceland.
Okay, and then it seems that I actually did was not following your most recent Iceland trip, so I'm not sure where you went or didn't go. But
Hmm.
it looks like this Iceland, the October Iceland trip, looks like it's more like rustic. But by that I mean it's not like in Reykjavik that much. And I don't know, is your itinerary different this time than like your last Iceland trip, your October trip?
No. So I mean it's different. It's different in the sense that we did not see the Northern Lights.
Oh yeah, that was
Um, yeah, so we didn't have that because I mean it didn't get dark until like 11. So in October, we'll be able to see the Northern Lights. So
yeah.
that will be really cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see those because I haven't seen them yet. Um,
Ooh, nice.
so yes, a lot of people do. They stay in Reykjavik and then they do like kind of day tours out. I kind of wanted to get a little more into the country and a little more out and I just like to go a little more off the beaten track anyway, but B, it's better for the Northern Lights.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I just
So
wanted to know because I'm just,
yeah.
because if the thing about Peru that worries me is that the altitude, because I know because I've been to Denver and Aspen and I definitely needed that day of just tons of water and aspirin and then I was fine. I could ski. It was okay. I mean, I'm not a
Right. I
skier.
mean, yeah, and our first day is not it's a fairly easy day. So and if you had to go to the hotel and whatever and not do the little activity, you wouldn't really be missing much.
And then
So
everyone takes that helicopter ride to see. This is in Lima. Everyone does that.
in Lima, yeah, it's
That's included.
again, it is included. If you didn't want to do it, we could, but
You'll wave to me
It's
from
a, it's
hell.
not a, it's a, actually, it's, when I did it, it was a helicopter. Now it's not, I'm not going to say a large plane, but it holds like 20 people or something.
Yeah, I can imagine what that's like. I've been on those little
Yeah.
planes. But,
Yeah.
how cool. This whole thing sounds so cool. I've heard it's magical. The whole Meet Machu Picchu. Like I would like to go. I also want to go to Iceland, to be very honest. We're going to do Iceland again, like next year in 2026, you
Yeah.
think?
Well, you know what happened? It was really funny. I know for sure I'm doing Iceland in 2026 because um I had these three women who were so excited about this trip and blah, 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 and they sign up, and all of a sudden they're like, wait, it's not for October 2026? And I'm like, no, it's October 2025. They're like, we can't do October 20.
And I'm assuming it's after Yom Kippur. I have to like double check my
Yeah,
calendar.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
confirmed, right? So,
yeah.
um,
So,
yeah.
so I said, okay, I will do October 2026 for you.
Oh, so you're going again. All right. So if I don't make
Yes.
it this the next time,
Yeah.
so and how many people? And is it all women for Iceland and men and women? I'm seeing from the call for Peru.
Um, right now, I only have one man for Peru, although
So
I have
classic.
been I've been talking to um I've been talking to more now, so that's good.
Well, there were three guys on
Um,
the call
yeah,
that they may or may
right.
not join. I don't know. I don't know if you know them, but I'm just saying they may join.
Right. So yeah, so I'm getting more, I think that the email that I sent out today saying that permits are tight
Yeah.
has gotten a few people, responding to me. So I think there will be some more men on that trip. But in terms of the sign up, it's women for Iceland, it is both. It's pretty, I think it's pretty even. That one's I
How
think
many people
I
for
think that
Iceland?
one is 7.
Oh, okay. So these are small trips.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
just
my trips are pretty small.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I once did Amazing Journeys and it was like 100 people. That's why I'm trying to like get, I'm not
yeah,
sure how big it
right,
was.
right.
But
Yeah, no, I do, I think one of the reasons why I try and keep mine smaller is because I'm a lot more active in the sense, we do more things and if you're hiking or something like that, if you have too many people, it's kind of chaotic. So, I keep it small.
and just to understand even the Galapagos part of this trip, I'm
Mhm.
putting that in quotes, because I know it's Peru, it's not
It,
Ecuador.
it's on a boat.
It's on a boat. And do we get to go into the water or no? Because a lot of people they don't want to that they
Right.
don't.
No,
No, we're on the boat.
no,
Fine.
you're just on the boat and you see the animals like through the boat, from the boat or whatever. So
And the AV, like, would I be driving it or am I a passenger in the?
there are two people per, so you can be with someone who drives if you don't want to drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
So
to. Okay. All right. No, it sounds so cool and fun. I want to go. I'm going to look into it now. I'm going to look into the flights. So
Okay.
people are leaving. My family's from Argentina, so I know South America
Oh,
pretty well, but I
cool.
don't know Peru. So usually you leave like the night before. Like, so for example, to arrive on the
Right,
9th, you leave late on the 8th,
right.
and then you get there in the
Yeah,
morning.
so that's what most people are
Yeah.
doing. They're leaving, on, and I have one person who is observant of the Sabbath, so she's leaving, like right after Shabbos or whatever, and then, so yeah, so there people are leaving, Saturday night. There is one person who found a flight, and I think was from Florida. So I think that's why I said you may have more options.
Is her name
Um,
Shari, the one who's observant from Florida? Is her name Shari by any chance?
no,
No, okay.
Linda.
Just because it would be funny if it were, you know what I mean? Because I know a Shari is observant from Florida and may be interested in this trip. So, okay.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you should tell her that there's another person. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
absolutely. That's funny.
because then I kind of, we're not, they're missing, they're missing one kind of, day of activity, except or she is, but it's, I created it so we're not changing hotels. So, so then, they can stay around the hotel or whatever while we go out and then we'll come back to the hotel. And so they don't have to, there's places to like hike around or whatever. I forgot what the activity is that
You're
we'll be
talking about
missing.
where Lima or Couscous when you're talking. I don't
Uh,
know which place you're talking
in Lima. Oh, sorry, in
about.
Cusco.
Oh, Cusco. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. So now I've got to do my homework.
And
So
wait, if you, like I said to Jeremy, if you're thinking about it and
I
but
could,
still are not sure but want to do the permit thing,
yeah.
um, I just suggest that and then we'll take it from there. And if you don't go, it'll be a loss of 120. I mean, I just feel like that may be a better option than, figuring it out and then finally saying, yeah, I can do it and then not be able to get a permit. So.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I should just give you my credit card now and you can get me the permit. And then, because I hear what you're saying, because the permit,
Right,
nothing makes sense without the permit.
right.
I know,
I mean,
let's say,
I can have my assistant call you tomorrow and get all that info if you want.
okay, sure,
Do
that'd be
that.
great. Yeah. What's her name?
Um, Her name is Kate,
Great.
and actually, you have my email, right? I'm
Yeah.
thinking if you just
Yeah.
send me an email with your phone number, and then I'll forward it to her to call you. And if you
Robin at
even,
steppinoutadventures.com.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm Alyssa Mack.
So, okay. So it's funny because I've seen your name, but
You and I are Facebook friends, but like I don't think, and maybe I live in New York, so maybe
Mhm.
in New York, maybe I went to like some event, and I think that's
Right.
to be on your
Yeah.
list in your Facebook connection.
Yeah, I've had a lot of, kind of meet and greets or whatever in New York. So That
What
could be.
what a cool job. I'm sure it's stressful juggling so much, but it really is wonderful. You're really sharing experiences that are so
Yeah,
special.
I do love that. I do
Yeah,
love that part.
very
So
cool. Robin. Well, thank you for your time and for answering all these questions and us slogging.
absolutely.
You must
Yeah.
have
No.
a recording of yourself and just be like, this is, but thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. And yeah, so I look forward, just, send me that email and I'll have Kate
Sure.
call you tomorrow. And you can even put down like good times for her to call or whatever.
Okay, yeah, yeah, we're yeah. Thank you so much again. Have a good
All
night.
right.
Take
You
care.
too.
Thanks.
Bye bye.